you, dear? Oh, my soul, that's simply awful. You should go and see the doctor. By the way, dear, that reminds me, have you seen the dear old soul? Mrs. Hardy is in labor and her husband's having 20,000 fits. Just like a man, if you ask me. Starts something, then 9 months later decides to get excited about it. Hello, Nellie? Oh my goodness, what's the matter? You say that Howard's missing? Well, I'll tell you where he is. I hear that there's a poker game in back of Fraser's Hardware, and knowing men, I'm sure they're drinking beer and losing money left and right. Tell you what, Nellie, I'll call down to Charlie's at the store, and if Howard's losing, I will send him home right away. Call you back, dear. Don't worry. Bye now. Number, please. Oh, long distance. Oh, what's the number you are calling? Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Bell went out. She went to do some shopping. She left the house at 1, but she should be back by 5. I'll be glad to take a message and to give it to her when she gets back home. Miss Mary True in Boston, all the way from Boston? I can tell Mrs. Bell that her sisters will be arriving tomorrow in Bedeck. Yes, I'll give her the message. Bye now. Hello, Helen? This is Ethel at the switchboard. I was thinking maybe you might know. Long distance called for Mrs. Bell. The lady mentioned sisters, but I didn't know she had some. Oh, she has and lives with the family, and she's single. Fancy that. I wonder why they aren't married yet. If Mrs. Bell can get a man, there's hope for all of us yet. By the way, dear, did you know their house is finished? Yes, it is, and they've been moving on for days and days on end. You won't believe the house, my dear, the furniture that's in it. I hear it's quite the grandest place a person's going to find for miles around. I hear it costs a small fortune. And some of those friends of theirs? And that woman? Mrs. Cushing, who is visiting from Boston, I hear that she must be the biggest gossip in the town. She hasn't stopped a moment, not a second since she got here. And she quacks quite the lady with her fancy Boston clothes and all that. Can you believe it, my dear? 3 trunks of dresses for a 2-week vacation, and those hats. If you ask me, I think she talks through hers. Oh, and Helen! Do you know what Cora told me? In the winter, Mr. Bell went out with hardly any clothes on. Helen, are you there? Well, he wore a summer swimsuit and walked out in the snow, and you know what they do with a person when they act like that. Mark my words, Helen. The goings-on at that place are enough to make anybody wonder just what is going on. What's that, Helen? There's a party at Ben Brayock, and the Bells are asking everyone for miles and miles around? Oh, why, that's very, very sociable. I always really like them. Oh, I wonder if it's formal, for I haven't got a single thing to wear. Oh, it is, dear. Oh, my goodness. I suppose I'll have to make myself a dress for the occasion. I'll have to close the switchboard. No one will be calling. I better phone around and make sure everybody's heard the news. By the way, dear, I really want to ask you, how in the world did you find out about this party before I did?